Welcome back. As we've been saying, the January 6th committee will hold its fourth hearing tomorrow, this time focusing on the pressure campaign at the state level to overturn the 2020 elections. The committee will hear from Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger and his deputy, as well as a Georgia election worker involved in the Georgia recount. NBC has also now confirmed Arizona Speaker of the House Rusty Bowers will be testifying before the committee. Bowers was one of the 29 Arizona lawmakers that Ginni Thomas messaged after Mr. Biden won Arizona in 2020. Thomas urged Bowers and others to choose a new slate of Arizona electors. As more information comes to light about Ginni Thomas's role in the White House's efforts to overturn the elections, New Jersey Congressman Bill Pascrell is now calling for the resignation of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. I am joined now by New Jersey Congressman Bill Pascrell. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it, Congressman.
Kristen, you're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that so much. Well, we appreciate your joining your voice to the show today. I want to ask you, just taking a step back for a minute, back in March, some of your colleagues called for Justice Thomas to resign. But at the time, Leader Schumer, Senator Durbin, others called instead for the justice to recuse himself from the January 6th related cases. So I just want to start there and ask you, why are you calling for Justice Thomas's resignation? Why isn't recusal enough?
Well, if you go back over the last 5 years, Kristen, many people stood up and many people sat down because they didn't have the courage to move forward. You just heard Adam speak, and I've heard Liz speak, and I've heard my brother, Benny Thompson. I mean, they've been talking about this for a long time. Talk is cheap. It's time for some action. I think the justice has broken the law. When you read the law, I have the law, I know what the law is, and I'm not a lawyer. So you may have to get a lawyer to translate to you, but I think I understand it pretty well.
Well, Congressman, let me just challenge you on that point, because really you're concerned about the actions of his wife, not of the justice. So how do you argue that he broke the law? He would say, and he hasn't weighed in on this, but the counter argument is that this is about his wife, not about him.
Mrs. Thomas has been working on this for a very long time. Before January 6th and after January 6th, as you well know, it's been well publicized. This is not a political investigation into Ginni, as she wants to put it. These Democrats are going to say anything. We're not going to say anything. I think that the January 6th committee has done so well because they've stayed with the facts. Mm-hmm. And I think Liz and Adam have specified that and are accurate to the point. So that's what we're talking about, the law. And
just to be specific, what's your proof that he broke the law? I just want to be specific here, Congressman. What proof do you have?
Well, I'm going to read. The law says that any justice, judge, or magistrate judge of the United States shall disqualify himself in any proceeding in which his impartiality is reasonably questioned. More specifically, the law goes on even further to talk about the relatives that could be involved in this kind of a situation. Her day will come, whether it's before the committee or a court. But there's no question she was one of the participants in the attempt to overthrow the count of the American people.
As you know,
and 62 judges support my position, not their position.
As you know,
that's the law.
The committee has now reached out to her, has signaled they may want to hear from her. Do you expect the committee to subpoena her?
I understand that she will be subpoenaed, and I understand that she might even, because of what she's written before to her friend, Mr. Meadows, he can ignore subpoenas all he wants. He said what he said. We have the text. He handed us the text. The committee that
Who told you she might be subpoenaed, Congressman? Who told you she might be subpoenaed? Is that coming from Benny Thompson himself?
No. I would never repeat anything Benny told me about this. He's my brother, I said. Okay. But I've talked to other people, not on the committee, and then I think she's going to be subpoenaed.
All right.
And by the way, how else are we going to find out the truth?
You have said in your statement, Congressman, you have said that Clarence Thomas is a, quote, corrupt jurist. And yet, Justice Sotomayor, speaking last week at the American Constitution Society convention, she was asked about this and how she's able to work with people that she disagrees with. She mentioned that she probably has disagreed with Clarence Thomas more than any other justice, but she also said this. Take a listen.
He is a man who cares deeply about the court as an institution, about the people who work there, but about people.
What is your reaction to that, and why not, given that she says that? Again, just ask for recusal. Why ask for his resignation? Do you run the risk of adding to a politically charged climate and that's already overheated, a lot of people would say?
I would say to the justice in good faith that Mr. Thomas cannot possibly be seen as someone who is neutral in this situation. He's voted on some things already dealing with the past election. He should have never done that. He should have recused himself because the law says that. We cannot have relatives living with each other. And now I don't have any right to know what their private conversations are. But he knew, he read in the newspaper what was going on. And she was working with the participants before the insurrection and after the insurrection. And if there was any reasonable possibility that the law might be broken because he had to judge in those opinions, which he should have never been involved in the first place, he's got to stay out of it.
All right.
So I don't care what my friend from the Bronx says. I'm telling you, that's the law.
All right. And Congressman, very, very quickly, before I let you go, what will you be watching for tomorrow?
Oh, it gets better and better. You know why it gets better and better? Because it's the words of the people themselves. And most of them are not Democrats. Listen very carefully to what they say objectively. They were put in a tough situation. They were slyly threatened by the President of the United States, at least one of them, the Secretary of State of Georgia. He had the guts to stand up. I wish some Democrats had the guts to do what they did. And we'd be in a different position right now.
All right.
I've had it up here with words. We need to act.
All right. Congressman Bill Pascrell, thank you so much for joining us and for your perspective. Really appreciate it.
To be with you, Kristen.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.